Okay, I think it's working. Okay, do you want to start off by telling us about your grandparents?
Tell us who you're interviewing.
My
Patricia
grandparents.
Janet Linehan Spring.
Okay, my grandparents were Richard Mallow and Helen Virginia O'Leary Mallow.
And those are your mom's parents.
My mom's parents. My dad's parents were Joseph Richard Linehan and Olive Henchy Linehan, and they were all. I guess their parents came over here all from Ireland, every one of them. And
Even Mallow?
you know what? They were from Alsace-Lorraine. Richard Leon Mallow was from Alsace-Lorraine, which I looked it up, and that is like in France. I thought he was German, but it's like,
Well, I think it's in
On
France,
the
but they
border.
speak German.
yeah.
It's like a territory that's gone back and forth between France and Germany.
But his wife was O'Leary,
Mm-hmm.
so she was from Ireland. Her parents were from Ireland, and Jeremiah O'Leary actually lived with them or close to them, who was her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And he was he was a typical. I mean, he was so Irish. He looked Irish. I have pictures of
That
him.
was your great grandfather?
Yes,
Okay.
Jeremiah O'Leary.
Did you know him?
No,
No.
didn't know him. Did not know my grandmother. She died when my mom was 16 of breast cancer,
Mm.
and her mother before her died of breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So did not. But I knew my grandfather, of course. My mom's dad, and he remarried at some point when my mom was about 18. Her mom died when she was 16, so she moved to Greenfield to live with her mom's sister and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
That was my aunt. Her name was Mary, and Forrest Diamond, but everybody called her Dodo, Aunt Dodo.
Dodo.
They never had kids, and so my brother and I were like her grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad's parents, he was the president of a credit union in Athol, Massachusetts. My mom was born in Connecticut. My dad was born in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
And his mom was a stay-at-home mom, and they had 4 kids. My dad and his older brother Bob, and then he had a younger sister Alice and a sister Janet that died of polio when she was 3. So, yeah. So that's the story of them.
Okay.
And you don't know how they met, but it would have been in Massachusetts.
My
in
mom and dad
Greenfield.
met in Greenfield, Massachusetts. My dad was working for the Greenfield Tap and Die, I think, which is a tool. They made specialty tools which ended up being for the oil industry. And my mom, who is living with her aunt and uncle in Greenfield, I'm not sure if she worked at the Greenfield Tap and Die or if she worked somewhere else, but that's where they met, in Greenfield. They were married in Greenfield.
Did your parents go to school?
My mom graduated from business college, and so she was did secretarial work.
Mm-hmm.
My dad did not go to school past high school, so he was pretty much a self-made man.
Mm-hmm.
They got married in 1942, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and then he went off to war. But my mother was pregnant when he went off to war and had my brother David while he was overseas.
Mm-hmm.
So he was 2 years old when my dad came home.
And he went to Burma.
Yes, he fought in Burma. He was in the communications,
Mm-hmm.
which is so different from now because they had they traveled on pack mules and carried, I don't know what kind of communications they would have had, like
Radios?
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah. So he was in Burma. I don't think he saw action,
Mm-hmm.
but so
What was their life like growing up, your parents?
my parents, we were a typical family of that era. I was born in 1946. My brother was born in 44.
No, what were your parents like?
Oh, they're my parents.
Yeah.
Childhoods?
Yeah.
Well, my mom she loved the beach. They used to summer at Hampton Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Hampton Beach?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. There's just a little place in New Hampshire that's on the coast, and that's it, Hampton Beach. And, you know, I think she had a happy childhood. She just had one brother who was younger, a couple years younger than her. My dad, his older brother was played the piano and was a little more refined than my father. And I remember my father telling me that every summer he and his friends would go pitch a tent on some little lake, could have been the one where we stayed, and stayed there all summer. Rode their bikes, stayed camping out all summer on the lake. But his mama made him come home on Sunday and go to church and take a bath. And so he'd take a bath, go to church, and go back. And I said, well, what did you eat? And he said, oh, you know, Franco-American spaghetti. And if we caught fish, we ate that. And I mean, he didn't pretty much tell me all of it, but that's what I remember.
So he and his brother didn't hang out together.
Oh, no.
They didn't really care for one another.
Oh, no.
Wasn't he gay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I did not know that. It was not until I was in Boston for the 3-day in 2006, I think it was. No, 2008, that I was having dinner with my cousin Lisa, one of Alice's kids, his sister Alice. And she said, you know, Bob's gay, right? And I was like, no. But that explains a lot.
When did he die?
I don't remember, Carrie. He had he was by himself. You know, he lived out in North Orange where Lisa and them live now, kind of out in the country. And he had, I think, maybe an embolism or something. And he had a bleeding ulcer and hemorrhaged or something. But he just died, and they didn't find him till a couple days later. So
It was before or after Papa died?
After. Oh, my father?
Yeah.
You know, I can't remember. I don't know. I'd have to look in the genealogy book.
Yeah, who died first?
Yeah, I think it was Bob. But Bob and his wife were divorced. They had one daughter, and
So he did marry and have a child.
but they didn't really divorce. I think they just separated, and they never remarried, either one of them. But he kept his private life private because obviously I didn't even know.
Right.
I mean, I suspected, but I never knew. So I guess that's why my dad didn't care for him too much. But it was funny because there's a picture of them, and they're both dressed up in a little white shirt and a tie, and Bob's is all perfect, and my dad's tie is crooked and his shirt's wrinkled. And there's pictures around here somewhere.
What about Alice's childhood, their sister?
Well, she was 12 years younger than my dad, and she also played the piano. And she met her husband in high school, and they got married very young. And I remember going to their wedding. She was maybe 18 or 19 when they got married.
And you were close with Alice and the kids.
Yeah, she had 5 children, and they were all younger than me. The oldest one, Mark, is about 3 years younger than me, I think. And then there were 4 girls. And so I still keep in touch with them. So.
We made a few trips.
Yeah.
Peyton included.
That's right.
Yeah.
You've been there.
So how old was your dad before he went to the war? Was he young? Or?
I think he was about 26.
Okay, so he just graduated high school and went straight to working at that plant. And then your mom married him young, or?
They were the same age.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what
they were
was
both born in 1920.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
What was she doing before?
Actually, they were younger than that because they got married in 42.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have been each 22 when they got married.
Mm-hmm.
What was she doing before that?
Mm-hmm.
She went to high school. She went to business school for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And then she moved to Greenfield.
Mm-hmm. Did they talk about the Great Depression or Prohibition or anything?
Not a lot, but I remember my dad saying that during the Great Depression, his mom would make a sandwich for her husband, his dad, for lunch and cut the crusts off, and she'd eat the crust and just send the sandwich to work with him.
Mm-hmm.
And that he had holes in the bottom of his shoes, and they lived up north where it snowed. And so they'd put cardboard or newspaper in the bottom of their shoes.
Gosh.
Yeah, it was some tough times, and of course, his dad was president of a credit union, and all the banks failed and stuff, and they didn't really talk about it a lot. It's like my dad didn't talk about the war either.
Yeah.
So, but they were children of the Depression. You never get over. It's a. They never got over the feeling of being poor.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that poverty mentality your whole life, even
Mm-hmm.
though you have money. You don't spend it.
Yeah. What were their personalities like? What were your parents' personalities?
My dad was just never met a stranger, kind of
Mm-hmm.
really
Very outgoing.
friendly, very outgoing.
Jolly and yeah.
If you want to know what my mother was like, just talk to your Aunt Katie. Really, my mother was more, inward, and she didn't make friends as easily. She had friends, but she didn't make friends as easily. And yeah,
she was a loving grandmother.
She was.
To me, anyway.
And
they both were.
Yeah, but I always thought she loved my brother better than me.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I think she felt sorry for him because he and my dad didn't like each other.
Really?
Well,
Why not?
my dad came home from the war, and he's got a 2-year-old who's had the total devotion of his wife for 2 years, and they were jealous of each other, and they never got over it. So, I'm here to tell you.
Did he ever say that to you?
Who?
Your dad or your brother?
It was no. I just.
Not spoken of.
It's just understood.
It was.
It was.
I observed it firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was my dad's favorite.
Which bothers me because I don't know how a parent can have a favorite.
Well, I hung out with him. He used to take me to the hardware store on Saturday in Greenfield. I loved going to the hardware store with him. A friend of his owned the store. And if you went downstairs in the store, they had the skis and the ski poles and all that good sports stuff downstairs. And yeah.
He took her skiing. They used to ski.
Yeah.
Really?
And
I learned how to
skates. She
ski.
had ice skates when.
Yeah, I did all those fun things until we moved to Texas.
Mm.
I was 10 when we moved to Texas.
Your brother, he was older than you.
2 years.
What was he like?
Kind of strange.
Strange. In what way?
He was just different, wasn't he, Carrie?
Mm-hmm.
They share the same birthday, July 22nd.
Really?
Yeah. But,
Like, what would he do that was strange?
He
well,
was kind of antisocial,
yeah, he was antisocial. He kind of took after my mother, really.
and I think he liked his liquor a little bit.
Mm.
And he was a little OCD about his cars.
Oh,
They were
Lord, you could eat
perfectly
off the
clean.
floor of his car. Yeah.
He was just kind of an odd
And
guy.
Danny's like that about his vehicles.
But
And
Danny's got not like him at all.
no, totally different personality.
But
It's
that's-
like he would come up here for Christmas and open presents, eat dinner, and go. He wouldn't stay. He never would stay. They were supposed to come spend the night, he and his wife and the 2 girls, and he would never stay.
they ended up divorcing.
Yeah, she divorced him.
Mm.
And then he went and lived in a nudist colony in Florida.
Really?
Well, he didn't live in the nudist colony. He lived in a place where there was a nudist colony.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a little strange. Just saying.
But he had 2 daughters we really like, Shannon
Really?
and Leslie.
But Leslie's personality is somewhat like his.
A little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but not a lot.
Well,
She keeps to herself.
yeah. When she would come up here, she had to have a different place to stay. She wouldn't stay in the house with us.
Mm-hmm.
She had to have her own place to stay.
Well,
So
I can see that.
anyway, families are complicated.
Yeah. Well, tell me about life growing up in Massachusetts.
I had the idyllic childhood. It was just awesome. I skated and snow skied in the wintertime and rode the toboggan down the hill. And in the summertime, we'd swim in the Green River. There was a public swimming area on the Green River where the town took care of it. And we used to go swimming all the time. And we'd go to Laurel Lake. That was my most favorite place in the whole world. I took your mama there. We went there the last time we were in Massachusetts.
We found the house.
Found the house where the cottage was and sat on the
Cottage.
dock.
Mm-hmm.
And it was back in the day when they didn't have motorboats. We had a rowboat. My brother and I would take that rowboat out before anybody got up. We'd sneak out,
No life jackets.
take the rowboat out. Never had a life jacket. We'd go fishing. And we'd fish with
a string and a
with a
hook.
string and a safety pin, and we'd bait it with bread and we'd catch fish. And we'd bring it home. My daddy would cook it for breakfast. Of course, I never ate it, but he cooked it. And we'd stay in the water all day long. My mom would say, "You are turning blue. You need to get out of that water," because it's a mountain lake up in New Hampshire, and the water was cold. But they never worried about us wearing a life jacket or if we were going to drown or nothing. One year I decided I was going to swim across the lake. So my dad rowed the boat and I swam across the lake. And he just followed me in the boat.
You made it?
I guess so. I'm still here.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I had the idyllic childhood.
And then when you were 10, you moved to Houston. Was
Yeah.
it still idyllic after that?
It was different.
You remember the first day of school in a new state?
Mm-hmm.
Were
Very
you
well.
nervous?
I was nervous, and it was May, and I thought I had to wear a coat because it was May, and it was still chilly up north. It was hotter than blue blazes. I got sick the first couple days we were there from the heat and humidity. Totally not used to it.
Did they have AC at the time?
No.
No AC.
No AC in the
Houston,
houses.
Texas?
No AC anywhere. In fact, I was in high school and there was no air conditioning. And in September and in June before you get, it's miserable, miserable in the classroom
They wore pads, didn't you? Under your arms.
because we sweat so much.
I sweat.
And I had,
Surely they had deodorant, right?
well, yeah, but I had PE first period.
Oh.
Looked like crap the rest of the day.
And you went to what elementary school?
St. Rose of Lima, where we were married. We were married at St.
Is
Rose.
that a Catholic school? Yeah.
I went to Catholic school in Greenfield. I went to Holy Trinity Catholic School.
Really? In Greenfield. Did we go there?
I think we went by there. So there's a hill, and the school's down here. And so the school didn't have their own cafeteria, and so we could line up and get marched up to the public high school and eat in their cafeteria, which we didn't do every day, but my mom would let me do that because we could go home for lunch. We actually would leave school, go home, eat lunch, and come back to school. Those were the good old days. But that's where I learned to eat a peanut butter and marshmallow sandwich. It was at that high school, and we went up there for lunch. And they had peanut butter and marshmallow sandwiches. I love them.
So you went to Holy Trinity Elementary in Greenfield, and then St. Rose of Lima in Houston, and then on to St. Pius, where Dad also went.
But he had already
7 years before
graduated.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they
So
went.
his name was on the wall while she was in high school.
He
there.
was the first athlete to be named to the Hall of Fame, and his name was up on the wall. So I knew I had heard of his name, but I didn't know who he was or anything. But I went to St. Pius on a scholarship, and so I didn't meet Grandpa until we were in college.
So
In high school, did women play sports at the time? Was that a thing? Or
They played volleyball.
were you involved in anything?
No.
Did you,
I was the
their
most
clubs?
unathletic person.
The
I
student council
played
or
in the
anything?
band.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What'd you play?
a trumpet. And
didn't
well,
know
I
I
was
didn't know that.
I was pretty much a studious nerd.
You got
So-
good grades.
I got good grades.
Were you valedictorian?
I would have been the salutatorian, but I didn't graduate from that school.
Really?
We moved
You
to New York when I was a senior, right before my the summer before my senior year. So
Was that traumatic too?
extremely. I did sing in the choir
Mm-hmm.
at St. Pius, but okay, so we moved to New York, and I had been dating this boy all through high school, so that was pretty traumatic. And so my parents were going to send me to public school my last year in high school, and about a week before school I said, I don't want to go to public school because Notre Dame High School was just down the road. And they said, well, okay. So I went to Notre Dame High School and graduated from there. And I would have graduated second in my class, but I was a transfer student.
Mm.
So same thing happened to your mama.
Same thing happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lost our rankings.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I got a scholarship to Cornell.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a full ride?
No, but it was tuition in, I forget.
But it's
Maybe,
probably.
I don't know. It might have been room and board. I don't remember.
Mm.
But so
So you went there for a year, right?
I went there for a year.
What was that year like? Did you have fun?
Intense.
Yeah.
I did. I had fun to a certain point, but I had to study hard. It's an Ivy League school. It was really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
bet.
one of the classes I did the best in high school was English, and I barely passed because
Wow.
those kids that I was going, my whole freshman class,
Mm-hmm.
smart people.
Yeah.
People. A lot of them were from New York City, and not to be racist or anything, they were Jewish, and they
Mhm.
are very smart. The average age of the freshman class the year I was a freshman was 16.
Really?
Hmm. And I was only 17.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was a good. I went through Rush, pledged a sorority,
Mm.
Which one?
Kappa Delta.
Dad wasn't in a fraternity, was he?
Mm-mm.
Kappa Delta.
But what happened was the summer after my freshman year, my best friend from Houston came and spent the summer with us,
Mm-hmm.
and made me want to go back to Houston.
Really?
Yeah, I hated the snow. I hated the cold. If I'd have had a half a brain, I'd have stayed at Cornell and graduated. And my parents didn't even. They were like, "Okay, what was wrong with them?"
They probably wanted you to come home too.
Well, my brother never left Houston, so he was in Houston. So I went back. I transferred to the University of Houston,
And then they came right back.
and then they came back.
followed
They
you.
were back by Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
So
They didn't want to live up there either, or they wanted to move with their kids.
I don't know. They wanted to be with us. They thought, what are we doing here? Our kids are all in Texas. My mother never wanted to live in Texas.
Hmm.
She would have gone back to Massachusetts in a heartbeat.
What year did you go to Cornell? Was it?
I graduated in 64, so it was 64, 65, and it was
Wow.
during Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And they had one of the first sit-in strikes on our campus against protesting the war in
Mhm.
Vietnam.
Did you have friends that were like really into that, like into protesting or like really passionate
No,
about
those
the war
were
and
the
stuff?
hippie architecture students.
The
those kind
architecture
of-
students.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we were all too busy trying to
Trying to pass.
keep our grades up.
Yeah.
Did you know people who went off to war?
Yes, from my high school.
That died?
A lot of them didn't come back.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was sad.
Mhm.
So
You went to just change the subject, but a Bob Dylan concert while you were there?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. I went to a Bob Dylan. I don't know if you've heard of Peter, Paul, and Mary. I went to a Peter,
Yeah.
Paul, and Mary concert.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I don't know. There was another one. The Mamas and the Papas, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, I had fun because they were always having a big weekend celebration about something. And there was
Yeah,
always a
right.
guest. Sometimes they'd be at Ithaca.
Mm-hmm.
There's a college in Ithaca as well. So, but yeah, that was fun. Never would have gotten to do that if I stayed in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I saw President Kennedy speak at Rice University though when I was a junior in high school.
Really? It made a big impact
He did.
on
Did. I remember watching him on the podium and he sat on the edge of his chair like he could hardly sit still.
He had a hurt back.
Well, that's true too. Found that out later, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was very impressed by him.
you. Mm-hmm.
He was handsome.
He was, and he was so dynamic and so charismatic. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you intentionally went to Rice that day to hear him speak?
Yes, a lot of us did. A lot of us high school kids.
So you were in high school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. And then I transferred to the University of Houston, and I met your grandpa.
Mm-hmm. Well, how'd you meet Grandpa?
This is after she had broken off how many engagements?
Just one.
Oh.
Yeah,
I-
let's back up. What?
Yeah.
So I was just dating random people. I didn't really like anybody, and I was at the Newman Center, which is the Catholic Student
Wait.
Center.
Back it up.
Hmm?
Tell him about being engaged. Who and when and where.
Okay, well, I was engaged to my high school sweetheart. when my dad decided to move to New York.
Hmm.
Could have had something to do with it. He was determined to get me away from him. I know for sure. But anyway, I was only 16.
You were engaged at 16?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And so we moved to New York, and it was like, I decided that it was probably best to keep that quiet, at my new school and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so
did
then
you not wear your engagement
I
ring?
did not wear it, and I started dating some of the local boys.
While you
And-
were engaged?
Well, yeah. And I was 16, for gosh sakes. That's Emma's age. So John came up for Christmas, and it did not go well at all.
What happened?
We ran into one of the boys I was dating at church. And we didn't actually say that, but he figured it out, and he decided he was going to go home. And my dad was so glad to drive him to the airport.
Did you give him his ring back?
Mm-hmm.
And
I
you
did.
weren't sad at all.
Mm-mm. I was not sad.
Okay.
And so then we
That's
come.
not the end of the story. The soap opera.
You want to hear the
continues.
rest of the story?
Uh-huh.
So I came back to Houston, and I was living in the dorm at the University of Houston, and I was over at the Newman Center, and I walked in, and it was right before St. Patrick's Day,
Mm-hmm.
and I had on a plaid, green and blue plaid, little short kilt skirt, and
Mhm.
green knee socks.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked into the Newman Student Center office, and Tom Spring was sitting in there, and he made some remark about my green knee socks.
What did he say?
I don't remember, but it was something smarty,
Mm-hmm.
And I just turned around and gave him my very best go to hell look that I had. And then I thought, I wonder who that is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so that's how we met.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we were at the Newman Student Center later on and struck up a conversation.
But at this point, she's dating her old fiance.
No, not yet. Not yet. Grandpa and I started to date. And, I knew that I really liked him.
Mm-hmm.
And then John came home at the end of the semester he was going to college in Denton, North Texas State.
Mhm.
And he came home and called me. And, we got back together.
You just broke up with Grandpa?
Yeah, I just dumped him. It wasn't
What'd
very
you
nice.
say?
I said my old boyfriend came back.
You
And,
called him on the phone?
no, we were in the car. I at
Mhm.
least did it in person.
Yeah.
And I said, we're probably going to get married, so I won't be seeing you anymore. That was pretty much it.
And Grandpa said, bye.
He said, later for you, girl. And he played baseball all summer.
He didn't call her, didn't try to get her
No,
back.
he never
just
tried to
said, "See you
get
later."
in. He never tried to get in touch with me. I have to respect that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so, we were going through with the wedding plans, had my wedding gown, my bridesmaids had their dresses, the wedding invitations were printed. We were getting married November 23rd. And in September, we had a conversation that I had started to, I was starting to look for a way out of it. And I felt like I was, I couldn't get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a conversation that just made me realize that this wasn't going to work.
He wanted her to get on birth control.
Well, we're Catholic.
Yeah.
And he said he wanted to go to medical school. I said, really? Well, who's going to pay for that? And he's like, you are. And I said, oh,
You
really?
said you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, I'm going to work and pay for it. And then I said, really? And suppose I get pregnant? Oh, you won't get pregnant. And I said, here's your ring. That was that.
Hmm.
My dad was so happy. He went out in the backyard and burned the wedding invitations. He was so thrilled to do that.
Did not like him.
No.
Why didn't your dad like him?
I think he thought he was just a no good.
Hmm.
He had a good personality, kind
John,
of like
what was his name?
Daly. Like
D-A-L-Y?
The golfer.
Like the golfer, but
Mhm.
not the golfer.
Mm-mm.
Let's look on Facebook, see if John
I've
Daly's
looked.
on
He's not
Facebook.
on there.
Mm.
John Daly, the golfer, is though.
Oh.
Yeah, my dad didn't like his dad either.
Did John become a doctor?
No.
Oh.
I don't know what he became. He moved to Bridgeport, Connecticut. And the only reason I know that is because Christine, my friend that came to visit me that summer.
Mhm.
She was bridesmaid at our wedding. She was the maid of honor, but she kept up with him for a while. So I knew he moved to Bridgeport. But that's
He didn't become a priest, did he? Because there's a famous priest named John Daly.
no, his brother, I forget his brother's name. He became a priest. But he left the priesthood.
So you were engaged to him twice and broke it off twice.
Pretty much. I'm sorry, Peyton.
Don't be sorry.
So then I thought, you know what? I got to call that Tom Spring.
Mhm.
But I didn't know how. It was before cell phones, right?
Mhm.
I didn't know how to get in touch with him because girls didn't call boys back then.
They didn't.
No, that was forbidden. You didn't. That was too forward. Girls didn't call boys.
How much older was he than you?
7 years.
John was?
Oh no, John was a couple years older than me.
1943?
I don't know.
We
Let
can
me
do
see that.
Okay,
We can do this later.
Okay, so I was still living at the dorm, and the dorm was off campus, so we had a bus driver, and the bus driver knew Tom, and I knew that he knew Tom, so I hollered at him and said, "Why don't you call Tom Spring and tell him to call me?"
Mhm.
He goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, would you?" He goes, "Sure." So he did.
Hmm.
And he
And that
did.
was
He called
when?
me. It was in September, the beginning of the semester.
And you got married in July?
Yep. And my roommate's like, "You are so on the rebound. This is not going to work." So that's my story.
Mhm. What'd you like about Grandpa at the time?
I don't know. I just was attracted to him. He had a good personality, and
Mhm.
you know, he
He was
was,
nice to you.
yeah.
Yeah.
He treated me like a lady, and he was respectful,
Mhm.
and he was an athlete, and I admired that. I don't know.
Mhm.
I just had.
What
the
would you
hots
guys
for
do
him.
in Houston at the
You had the
time?
hots for him?
Yeah.
And you were 20,
I was 19 at the time.
but you were 20 when you married him.
Yes.
But you guys would go out dancing and stuff.
We'd go out dancing. We never spent any money because he was so poor. And my mother kept saying, you know, it's just as easy to fall in love with a rich man as it is a poor man. I'm like, yeah, I know. But yeah, he'd take me out for coffee, and then we'd go parking at Herman Park. that was our big date.
Mhm.
We'd go to Herman Park. One time the police came up and caught us. We weren't doing anything bad, but, you know.
Yeah.
We weren't. I promise. Anyway, so
She got married in July, and I was born in July.
6 days before our first wedding anniversary. Ta-da!
Wow.
Yours truly.
You know, when Jerry got killed, I was pregnant with you. About 3 months.
Sad.
It was sad.
Mhm. You met Grandpa's parents early on. What did you think about them? Did you guys get along?
Yeah, we got along.
Mhm.
His mother, I think, resented the fact that I took away her lunch ticket because he sent money home all the time.
Really?
Your mother's making faces over there.
Mhm.
But his dad was real sweet,
Mhm.
and I got along with his mother.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
But
And
they were so poor.
really.
They were,
And I'm sure traumatized by losing 2 children.
yeah. But you know, and part of that was not good money management, I think. But
Mhm.
they didn't have a lot. But Tom says he never realized he was poor growing up.
Yeah.
Nobody does, usually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But anyway, they lived in Houston.
Mhm.
His mom, after his dad died, his mom stayed there, and yeah. His sisters, he's got a sister that's like a year younger than him,
Mhm.
and then the twins were like 14 years younger than him, and then there were 2 more girls.
Mhm.
So
So y'all got married and moved to Orange and Dad took the job at Assumption, correct?
No, at St. Mary's.
St. Mary's. Right.
We moved the day after we got married.
Because you got married in July, so you would have wanted to start football practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you rented a little house
We rented part of
Right.
a house. It was like a duplex.
on Bridal Reef.
No, that was the house we bought.
Oh.
The house we rented was on 8th Street, I think.
Oh, and you lived there for how long?
We lived there for, let's see, when we brought you home from the hospital, we brought you home to the house on Bridal Reef, so we didn't live there very long. We bought a house for $10,800.
Wow.
We assumed the notes. The notes were $88 a month. Can you believe that?
So you didn't have to have a down payment or anything. You just picked up.
I
the
think
house
we
payment.
had money that we had gotten for a wedding gift, and we used, I think we put down $500 or something.
What was that address? Mom?
213 Bridal Reef?
213 Bridal Reef.
Don't look it up, it was terrible now.
See if it's still there.
It's still there.
And then you had Danny,
Yes. You were 19 months old when he was born.
and then you moved to Beaumont. And bought
Because
that
they
house.
closed down the high school. Danny was just a baby when we got news that they were closing the high school.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom was losing his job. And that was pretty stressful. And Danny was in the hospital.
Yes, I forgot about that.
He had diphtheria.
Oh my god.
No, he had
No, he had pertussis, whooping cough.
whooping cough, bronchitis, and something else all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was under an oxygen tent, and it was pretty bad,
Pretty scared.
pretty scary.
Mm-hmm.
And I was staying up there with him, and Tom came in and told me that he wasn't going to have a job because they were closing the high school.
Mm.
But he got an offer to work at Kelly, which was in Beaumont, about 30 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to work at Kelly. And we stayed there till the end of the school year, and then we sold our house and moved to Beaumont.
Mm.
So, yeah, but it was a pretty stressful time.
Do you like living in Beaumont?
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave Orange, but I liked living in Beaumont. It was a good community. We had friends, and kids went to Catholic school there. And Carrie finished her freshman year at Kelly, and then we moved to Corrigan.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going to tell you, Grandpa's salary when we were at St. Mary's
Mm-hmm.
was $3,500 a year. Ask me if I know. Ask me if I know what it's like to be poor. I do. Definitely do.
She said we were poor growing up, but I don't remember feeling or being poor. We went to private Catholic school.
I went to work to pay their tuition.
What did you do for work?
Well, at first, I taught preschool, and I took Katie with me because she was like 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to work at the bank. Really hated that.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody told me about a job at a dental office, which was bizarre because I was scared to death of the dentist, hated to go to the dentist.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to work for the dentist and loved it. And I worked, that's what I did for the rest of my working life. I worked for a dentist. When we moved here, when we lived in Corrigan, I worked for a dentist in Lufkin.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we moved here, I went to work in Hemphill, and I stayed there 33 years.
Wow.
Wow.
What'd
I was
you-
39 years old when we moved to this house.
Serious?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a long 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they built this house while we lived in a red house.
Mm-hmm.
So we moved in the end of my senior year. I did not live here
Nope.
during my school career.
Really?
She just lived here on break.
On break. But it's always felt like
Been home.
Mm-hmm. What'd you do for the dentist?
Well, at first I dental assisted,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved that. And, it was just interesting because it was different every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that after we extracted somebody's third molars
Mm-hmm.
and cleaned up all the bloody mess, and I went and ate lunch without thinking about it, I thought, I have arrived.
I can do this.
And then they wanted me to work in the office, so
Mhm.
I started working at the office in Beaumont, and then I worked when we were in Corrigan. I worked for the dentist in Lufkin, and I did both
Mm-hmm.
chairside and the office. And then when we came here, I started out they really hired me for the office, but I would fill in chairside assisting. Just for one thing, it was a good way to keep keep my hand in.
Mm-hmm.
But
you
I
worked at the bank at Pineland when we first got here until
for
a
about
job opened at
3 months
Uh-huh.
till I found out there was a dentist in Hemphill, and then I became the office manager when he took on a partner. His wife had always run. Dr. Powell's wife had always run the office.
Mm-hmm.
And when he took on a partner, the partner didn't like the idea of the other guy's wife running the office.
Yeah.
So they made me the office manager. So, and I loved it. I really
Good
did.
at it.
Yeah, I was good at it. So that's that. And then I retired and I hated it. So I've been working ever since. Retirement's not for people that like to be busy.
No.
No. It worked out for Grandpa because he enjoys every day
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't have to necessarily be busy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we're totally different.
To each their own,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. And you got breast cancer in what year?
1995.
1995.
So it's been 30 years.
Mm-hmm. And can you talk a little bit about that whole experience and what that was like?
Well, it was very scary. You know, I was like the fourth generation.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because your grandmother passed away.
my great grandmother, my grandmother, and then my mother had it twice.
Yeah.
But she lived to be 80.
Yeah,
too.
she didn't die of breast cancer,
Yeah.
but she also developed non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Mm-hmm.
But
So she did die of cancer.
no, she didn't.
Pneumonia.
Yeah,
We don't know.
we were not sure. Or congestive heart failure, I think, is what she died from. But anyway, yes, I thought. You know, Katie was still in college at the time, and I was, you know, obviously I was scared.
Mm-hmm.
But they caught it very early, and I didn't have to have all the brutal treatment that Uncle Lee just had.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking to myself, we'll never be happy again.
Mm-hmm.
That was,
Why?
well, just because when you're going through it, you have all kinds of terrible thoughts. But as a matter of fact, we have been happy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh gosh, we've had so much happiness
Yeah.
since then.
yeah,
All the grandbabies.
and I thought if I can just live long enough to see my youngest child married and settled in her life, I'll be happy. Well, we've gone way beyond that. I've been very blessed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I do the 3-day, because, you know,
Talk about that, Mom.
giving back. Well, it's just something that I feel that I'm blessed to be able to do.
But when you were 60, you decided to walk 60 miles on your birthday.
Yeah, I saw an ad on TV for the Komen Walk, and I was like, we need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I called my friend who had just recently recovered from breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And so in 2006, we did our first walk.
Mm-hmm.
And there are two kinds of people that do this walk. They're one and done, or they're hooked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I was the hooked one. And so I feel like it's a way that I can pay
How
back.
much money have you raised?
Over $75,000 since we started.
That's
So,
awesome.
Thank you. And I keep thinking every year I say I'm going to quit, but nobody believes me.
Well, it's because you finally kind of stopped saying it because you're not gonna.
Well, it's like Melissa, our team captain, said, why quit? Just do it until you can't.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it
Kate
till
did
I
it with
can't.
you last
Yes,
year.
that was so fun.
Mm-hmm.
We found out stuff about each other,
She
didn't
did,
we?
yeah.
We'll never tell.
Well, he's
That
the
drives
only-
your mama crazy.
It does drive me crazy. And you're the only person in our family that's ever walked with her.
Yeah.
That's true.
Dad and I have crewed, but not walked.
So
So it's very special.
it's been, it's kind of like my thing in life.
Mm-hmm. And also you grew up Catholic. Was that always a big part of your life?
Yes.
Yeah. Did it become like a bigger part of your life at
I think it's a
point,
bigger
or-
part of my life as I've gotten older. And
Yeah.
I've had time to study it and, you know, ponder and think about it. I did the Acts retreat and I started a faith sharing group.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there are a few people that started out in the beginning in the faith sharing group, but it's evolved and changed. And, but it's been a real blessing in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, you know, I want I'm gonna cry.
Oh, don't cry.
I can't help it. My biggest prayer is that my grandchildren will grow in grace and grow in faith,
Mm-hmm.
because it's so important.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes right down to it, it's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really
Your
only,
faith and your family. And that's about it.
It's really the most important part of your legacy. Is that you want to pass that on
True.
because it's so important to
You
you.
know,
And
Grandpa's has a real deep faith.
Mm-hmm.
And he, will you pick that can up off the floor before it dumps all over the floor? Please, thank you. Sorry. He's prayed the rosary for me every day since I had cancer, that I wouldn't have it again.
Mm-hmm.
And here I sit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he has a deep faith. He doesn't go to mass on Friday. He just goes to breakfast, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm. And your parents were devout?
Yes,
Yeah, they were involved with the church.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, my dad more than my mother.
Mm-hmm.
because he was more social, probably.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
He was an usher.
but yeah. I think the Acts retreat was a big moment in my life.
Mm-hmm. When was that? When did you do that?
The first time I did it, 2008 or 9, something like that. Your mom invited me to come. And it's funny because I said I would. I signed up. I paid the money. And then the day I was supposed to leave to drive up to, it was in Longview, I was like, I don't really want to do this. But I couldn't back out because I didn't want to disappoint her. It was the best thing. I tell people it's the best thing I ever did for myself.
Mm-hmm.
was
Same.
To make the Acts
It
retreat.
changed my life too.
I highly recommend it if you get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I think because Catholics are very quiet, introspective people, and this made you.
Open up and share.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a beautiful Acts community. When we're traveling, and we always go to Mass wherever we are, when you walk into a church that has an Acts community,
You know.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to but nobody has to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it is a very big part of my life.
Mm-hmm. You have any more questions, Mom?
Your brother passed away in.
He was 60 years old. 2005.
And your mom.
My dad died in 2001. My mom in 2002.
And then your brother in 2005.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was.
That's my whole nuclear family was gone. Boom.
Within 3 years.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
So
That was a hard time.
I try to stay close to his girls because I'm in the only connection to the Linehan side of the family that they
Mhm.
have.
Where are they?
Shannon's in Austin,
Mm-hmm.
and Leslie lives in Houston. You know, her husband's a neurosurgeon.
Oh,
A
that's
very
what it is.
good one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They live near Rice University by
Yeah.
Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he recently has taken up running. Apparently, he ran in the New York City Marathon,
Mm-hmm.
She's a runner.
but she didn't run.
She runs a little treadmill.
So anyway, that's all I can tell you.
Was John Catholic?
He went to St. Pius.
Mm.
In fact, I think he went to the same grammar school I did. I just didn't know him then.
Mm.
He came from a big Catholic family. He had 2 brothers and a sister.
And you guys just met in high school?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that,
You went back to college a
yes.
couple of times.
Yeah.
One time you were pregnant with Katie.
Yeah.
You had morning
I
sickness.
started back to school at Lamar while we were living in Beaumont. Had somebody to babysit the 2 kids and had a scholarship. Got up the first morning in class throwing up my guts. And I thought, I must be nervous about going back to school. Oh no, I was pregnant. So that was the end of that.
And then you went back when we lived here.
Well, I took some classes at Angelina, but I really couldn't because I was, I was too far along in school to go to Angelina Junior College.
Oh, you needed a.
I took
Yeah.
speech and a couple things like that, but nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I always thought I'd go to SFA, but I just didn't have the will to drive back and forth.
Mm.
It's an hour and a half.
You know, you could have done it online now, but
Yeah.
you didn't have that option.
So I guess that's my biggest regret in life is that I didn't graduate from college.
You just went for your freshman year?
No, I was a junior. I got through my junior
Junior.
year.
Because she started when she was 17.
Yeah.
And I got married, had kids, and that was that.
And you went a year in Cornell and 2 at Houston, U of H.
Hmm. And I was going to drive back and forth to Lamar from Orange, but I didn't do that.
Well, Dad actually went back to Lamar
Hmm.
and he had 3 classes. He was teaching at Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
With
And they
no
said-
degree.
With no degree. And they said, you have to finish your degree.
Oh my gosh.
And he had to take 3 classes in the middle of our childhood.
Hmm. I helped him with his English
know.
class.
remember.
I did his papers and stuff. Don't tell anybody.
Well, he didn't have time. He wasn't.
No, he
He
didn't
wasn't
have
home
time.
a lot
Mm-mm.
because he was coaching. So
What?
I'll tell you something funny one of the kids at Kelly said. So he was walking down the hallway behind some kids, some of the students, and one of them said something about, I guess they'd been in sex education class or something. And they said, you think Coach Spring does that? And one of them said, he did it 3 times.
that's so random.
I just thought it was funny.
Mhm. What are there like big historical moments that you remember, like Kennedy being shot, or like,
Oh, yeah.
or Vietnam
NASA
or
or-
NASA? Like,
Well,
which ones of those like do you remember the most?
Kennedy being shot.
That was
Well,
what was
it was very traumatic because I was from Texas and I was going to school in New York.
mhm.
So, yeah, I wasn't very popular that
I would
particular
imagine.
period of time. You know, they were just appalled and they got over it, but I remember that very well. We were in the cafeteria eating lunch when we got the news.
And they just announced it.
Announced it over the PA and called school off. We all went home.
Gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty awful. Watched it on TV,
Yeah.
the funeral and all that. It's pretty sad. And then, of course, Bobby got killed.
Mhm.
And then Martin Luther King.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a bad time in the history of the United States.
Mhm.
But I don't remember so much about Vietnam except that, you know, we protested it in college and it just dragged on and so many young people died. And then, but by this time I was married and had little ones and I didn't hardly watch news.
Mhm.
You just don't have
You
time.
don't really know what's going on in the world when you're raising a family.
You're just so busy.
Mhm.
So, but when the space shuttle blew up over East Texas, I remember that well
Mhm.
because some of it came down real close to our dental office.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, they found the woman,
Human remains.
her remains, not too
Really?
far from where I worked. And I remember getting up that morning. I didn't usually sleep very late, but it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. I got up and came downstairs, and I opened the blinds and I looked out on the lake, and I could see something glinting in the sky.
Mhm.
And I thought, and it was going pretty fast. It just caught the sun as it went over the lake, and I thought, I think the space shuttle was supposed to be landing today. And I turned the TV on, and they said we've lost communication with the space shuttle. And that was it. It was part of it that was flying over the lake. And then right after that, Priscilla Powell called me from the dental office. They were at the office painting the dental office, and they heard it. Well, yeah, and it was like a sonic boom. I remember that.
Mhm.
But it was a sonic boom that just kept on and on and on. And she called me and she said part of that space shuttle came down here. And she went out in the woods and found part of the nose cone.
Really?
That was before the authorities got there and, you know, banned everybody from being there and stuff. So,
What was the name of the shuttle?
Columbia?
Columbia?
Hmm. And we, from the dental office, we all volunteered at one of they had different staging areas for the workers who were searching through the woods all around Sabine County. And we'd go out there and make sandwiches to feed them and help serve dinner. We all took turns doing that. People from the community went out there and volunteered to help feed the people. They brought in a whole Indian tribe from Oklahoma to search through the woods because that was their thing. they could track. And so they brought them out there by Toledo Bend Lake. And we saw some of the Indians. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I bet.
I asked Dad about Indians, but that's kind of not your time. It would have been your parents or grandparents that experienced the Indians in any way, since they're Native Americans. And you being from Massachusetts, you still
Yeah.
didn't have any kind of stories or.
Well, they were discriminated against. In other words, if you married an Indian, you were looked down on and discriminated against.
Mm-hmm.
If you married a
And-
Native American.
And then when you moved to Texas, it was segregated, right?
There might have been one black family in the town where I grew up in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was different because they had separate water fountains. Like we'd go in the grocery store and there was one for whites and one for coloreds.
Did that have to be explained to you, like when you got there,
I
or did
don't-
you already know that it was going to be like that? when
No,
you
I
were-
did not know.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So you didn't have that in Massachusetts, but you had it in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I don't remember anybody explaining it to me. I think it's just something that you just
Understood.
integrated into.
Yeah.
But they couldn't go to the movies, the movie theater. They had to go in the balcony, and they couldn't sit with the white people. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things like that.
So what did you? Segregation happened when I was a baby, or right before I was born.
You mean integration?
What'd I say?
Segregation.
Oh.
Yeah, they went to different schools. They didn't go to school with us. They didn't ride on the same bus with us. If they were black and they were riding the city bus, they had to sit in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And did it occur to you that was wrong at any point? Is that just the way it was?
It's just the way it was. It didn't occur to me because I was just a kid,
Mm.
you know? And I guess I just accepted it.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, when you're that age, you don't realize that's another human being that's being treated like that, you know? And
So
black
then-
people didn't really, you know, they wouldn't look at you and they wouldn't have eye contact with you.
Mm-hmm.
So when they did start busing, we were in private school, so it didn't really affect us. But that was that very.
The only way it affected
Talked
you
about-
was the wealthier people in Beaumont all wanted their kids to go to Kelly, whether they were Catholic or not, because they didn't want their kids going to an integrated high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so that became the issue of, you know, because Kelly was fed by the Catholic grammar schools.
St. Anne's,
St. Anne's and
Stephen's,
all of those.
Episcopal and all
And so that became the issue, but they stuck to their guns and they were like, these children have first choice because
that. Catholic children,
the kids that are coming from the Catholic school.
Mm-hmm.
and then any spots available after that.
Oh Lord, yeah. So it's kind of like a lottery who got to go to Kelly. Became real popular all of a sudden.
Mm.
They didn't have to worry about if they were going to have a full student body anymore after that.
But it was the only Catholic high school in Beaumont.
Yes, there was one in Port Arthur, Bishop Byrne,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it was the only Catholic high school in Beaumont. And, you know, they were busing people from one end of the town to the other. And that was the thing in elementary school. It was just wrong to take your little children, put them on a bus at 6 o'clock in the morning and drive them 2 hours across town or whatever. That was just wrong.
Mhm.
They needed to go to the school in their neighborhood. But, you know, to implement integration, this is what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was not our proudest time. I mean, it was good to get rid of segregation, but the way it was handled was not the best.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I had forgotten about that.
Must have been a crazy time.
Yeah. Well, my goodness. Damn. Sorry. What's she barking at? Oh, it's a U-Haul.
They're delivering a package.
Okay,
Oh.
I got stuff to do, Peyton.
Okay.
We can continue this later.
Yeah. Thanks, Grana.
Thank you.